I understand that a lot of people out there are looking for tips and suggestions on how to date and how to vet a romantic partner, and certain traits about a romantic partner. And so they turn to social media for answers from coaches and therapists and all the gurus who say they know how to land this type of person, a wealthy person, a well-traveled, this and that, right? But I'm here to tell you that a lot of this advice does people harm. And one piece of advice that I think that's kind of making its rounds is how to pick a man based on his penis print. And I want to have a talk about that. Hi, my name is Dr. Natalie Jones. I'm a licensed therapist. And again, this rhetoric about, pick a man based on his penis size and, be checking out his print and this and that. This is really, I think this is really harmful advice to people, for a number of reasons. One, it encourages lust. Lustful people, and this isn't me trying to be holier than thou or anything. This is just me talking about my years of experience in counseling people who have challenges with lust, okay? Lustful people make erroneous decisions, decisions that can affect the rest of their lives. So if you're going out and you're seeking people based on lust, that does not a relationship make. Okay, so lust doesn't turn into some magical, wonderful relationship. I know Hollywood and other people who come on here and sort of spit this stuff out may tell you a little bit differently, but just I'm gonna give you as real world practical advice based on my experience. Okay, so number one, lust is not to be a lustful person is not something to strive for. Number two, when you talk about vetting a man based on his size, his print, and things like that, just sort of looking at that before getting to know a person. Number one, you are objectifying men, and this is important to know. Sorry, my glasses are fogging up. This is important to know because I can't tell you how many women I've heard over the years saying that they don't want to be objectified, that they don't want to be reduced, that they don't want to be this and that and the other, and be looked at like a piece of meat. So when you have this advice is specifically teaching you how to reduce a man to physical parts. It's sexually objectifying them, and that is doing a disservice, because as much as I've gotten on here and I've talked about harmful behaviors in men and women, I've also talked about the good, but also men are people too, so men are people with feelings and things of that nature. So there are people. So when you objectify a man like that, you are overlooking all of the other attributes that a man potentially has to offer. That could be advice, that could be suggestions, that could be just general conversation, that could be friendship, mentorship, all of these other types of things. And I'm not, this isn't going to be a comprehensive video. This video is only 10 minutes, so I won't do a whole workshop for those that go on here and say, why don't you talk like this, that? Yeah, this is not a workshop. This is a 10-minute video. But number three, I think most importantly, you cannot build a relationship based on sex. So that kind of circles back to number one. Trust me, many people have tried to have great sexual chemistry and then build a wonderful marriage and things like that off of that. Sex is but one aspect of a relationship's health. One aspect of needs, desires, and things like that. There are so many other things that are needed. And honestly, that should not be focused on at the beginning of the relationship. There should be other things that you need to focus on and build the foundation for outside of sex. And I'm not saying that sex isn't important And it's not healthy for you to want that, because it certainly is, but there's a time and there's a place for that. And if that is your primary focus when you're entering into a relationship, then you're not really serious about dating or looking for a relationship. And that's part of the big problem with the dating market now, is you have people that are focused on sex when they say that they're focused on dating, and they're not. So it's important for you to be able to focus on what you want. Number 4, focusing on that right from Jump Street is very immature. It also allows you to, it really just sort of puts the blinders over your eyes. You can't really see people outside of like serving one specific purpose in your life. It really just sort of limits you to transactions, meaning a sexual transaction. What can you do for me sexually? And, so if that's kind of how you're going and moving forward, know that you are going to yield different results than what is being touted to you. So if you want love, you want friendship, you want connection, sex, you need to back up off of that and focus on other things before you even get to that. You need to focus on, getting to know a person, connection, hobbies, interests, language, communication, all of those other sorts of things. Understanding a person's culture, understanding a person's past passions and interests, and and vice versa, right? So there's so many other things that you need to be focused on first. Mental health, physical health, family, all values, all of those sorts of things are things that are wonderful tools that will help you get to the next level. And number 5, a lot of times sexually, we've been taught to look at superficial things. I'm going to tell you something. When you connect with somebody, when you've met your partner and your person, and you match on a spiritual, physical, emotional, mental, and all these other levels, right? Things fall into place sexually, right? And I am one of those people, Dr. Jones is one of those people that believes that attraction can grow. When your needs are met, there's nothing that's sexier than having someone who can meet your needs in that way when you're looking, when you're dating someone romantically, right? And so those things fall into place. Just like attraction can die immediately, attraction can also grow. So allow yourself the opportunity to grow in attraction, to grow in love, just be careful with what you listen to. Even with Dr. Jones, you don't have to listen to everything I say. I certainly don't run an arbitrary, platform. I can't tell grown people what to do. But when I see certain things, I want people to have fruitful dating and love lives. I want people to connect with each other. I want people to respect each other. I do call out harm. But I also call out good things as well. And so be sure to focus on what it is that you want. And if you want connection, wait for sex. Wait on that. I've worked with thousands of people over the years. And one thing I've never heard a person say ever in my 46 years of life is that, oh man, I feel guilty. I feel bad that I waited to have sex. Oh man, that just ruined everything. I've never, ever, ever heard that ever in my life. It doesn't mean that there's not an exception somewhere out there, but, and maybe, who knows, somebody will make a good argument for that. But to date, I've never heard that. So stop objectifying people. And people are human beings. Stop being transactional in relationships. go out and connect with people, talk to people, build relationships, build foundations outside of, oh, I have to date this person, have sex with this person, or make this person my spouse, or, all of that. People are so much more deeper than that, and you seriously overlook some gems when you do this.